On Larry King Now, Ice Cube, the rapper turned producer and actor on his new film.
I'm always a little funnier than the character is written, so I always know that I could take it there if I need to.
And NWA.
It was really our only weapon of protest against what we saw.
Plus, by the way, do you know Ice-T?
Yeah, I know Ice-T. We real cool.
So you get together?
Yeah.
I could be a rapper. I'll be Ice Coffee.
No problem, man. We can do a group.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. He's one of the originators of the gangster rap group, an original member of seminal rap group NWA. He's made a name for himself as a producer and an actor with films like Barbershop and Friday, and his new movie, Ride Along, in theaters now. He's the #1 movie in America. He also has a new album, Everything's Corrupt. It'll be out on May 13th, a kind of wild title. He's Ice Cube. How'd you get that name?
Oh, Everything's Corrupt? Oh, Ice Cube.
Well, start with Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, my brother gave me that name.
Why?
Well, you know, he's about 9 years older than me, so it was a period where he would be off and gone, but he would have his girlfriends calling all the time, and I would pick up the phone and try to, you know, put my bid in, and he just got mad at me one day. He said, man, you're not that cool. You just always think you are too cool. I'll throw you in the freezer, and you'll be Ice Cube. And I said, well, I'll be Ice Cube from now on now.
That's stuck.
That's stuck. You know, I took it outside. You know, my new nickname was Ice Cube. So
when you get to a hotel, do you check in as Ice Cube?
Nah. I usually have a few other aliases. You know, people quickly find me if I go in as Ice Cube.
All right, tell me about Ride Along. This movie has gone through the roof. It's the #1 movie in America.
Real funny movie, you know, starring me and Kevin Hart, directed by Tim Story, who directed me in Barbershop, produced by Will Packer, who's a great producer.
Did you know it was funny right away?
I knew it was funny right away. You know, from the script, it was funny. And I knew once Kevin agreed to do the movie and it was me and him that, you know, we would have to try real hard to miss because the funny was on the page, and I knew once we got a hold of it, we could take it to the next level.
How funny is he?
Man, he's one of the sharpest dudes I know. I mean, as far as comedians, he's a master. I mean, I've seen him make a meeting room laugh. I've seen him make a crew laugh, the camera.
Now, when you're doing scenes, did he break you up?
No, he didn't break me up. Because, you know, being a producer, you realize that if he breaks me, we could lose some magic. You know what I mean?
Some money.
And some money. We could definitely lose the magic that we paid him to bring us. You know, sometimes when you get into a comedic bit, we go to a place that you can't script, you can't recreate, you can't reproduce it. It happens that moment, and you want to capture it without breaking.
Do you prefer comedic roles?
They're easy for me, the comedic roles, because, you know, I'm usually stuck as the straight man, which is, you know, my perfect lane, but I'm always a little funnier than the character is written, so I always know that I could take it there if I need to.
Why do you like I mean, you're a performer, and you've been a major success as a performer. Why do you like producing?
It's where all the action is, Larry. You know, producing is where the action is. It's where, you know, if it was a team, you would be the GM. So the producer sometimes picks the director, picks the actors, picks the, you know, has a say in set design, he has a say in marketing, he has a say in where the camera goes, who's the DP.
So you like that?
I love that. That's the
So you don't mind behind the scenes sometimes? You don't have to be on camera.
Not at all. You know, I'm just as comfortable behind the scenes as in front of the camera.
Boys in the Hood was your first hit, right?
Yes.
Did that take off right away too?
Oh yeah, you know, Boys in the Hood was a major success. You know, my first time in a movie, John Singleton, he was an intern over at the Arsenio Hall show, and he saw something in me and knew that I can do it, and pursued me for about 2 years to be in that movie.
How did you go from music to movies?
like I said, John Singleton. You know, it was that simple. He saw something in me. It's almost like being discovered. You know, he saw something in me that I never saw in myself, and he knew I could do it, and he helped me along on that process. Him, you know, Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr. all helped me, you know, do well as Doughboy. And
were you comfortable with it right away? Did you like the camera?
Well, I was comfortable with the camera. I wasn't comfortable with the acting process. You know, it's harder than it looks, as far as, you know, hitting your marks, remembering, you know, your actions for the whole day. You know, as a music video, you can kind of just be free. You don't have to remember nothing. You just free flow it. But in a movie, you have to remember what line you put the cup down on. You got to remember what line you stood up on, and it's a lot of moving parts that you just take for granted when you're watching a movie.
If I put down profession next to your name, what would you list?
Entertainer. I think that's about.
That covers it all.
Yeah, it sums it up. And I love entertaining. I love creating on this level. You know, when I was young, I used to be the one who was the best drawer. You know, my artwork would get nice grades, and you know, I was really into the creative arts and crafts and parts of school, and got into architectural drafting a little bit, and you know, so I love creating. And to create musically is one thing, but to create on a film level, you know, it's no bigger stage for artists, no bigger canvas than a film. Yeah.
Did things change for you when you started making money?
A little bit, you know. It changed in things, you know. I wasn't so uptight.
And you weren't a rich kid, were you?
No. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, you know, middle class home.
Dodger fan.
Dodger fan. Laker fan, you know, so when I started to get money, that it just made my life a little more comfortable. But with money comes other problems, you know. You know, a lot of people will try to take what you got, ask for what you got, and you got to learn how to say no real quick.
Coming up, Ice Cube opens up about growing up in South Central LA. Don't go away. Our guest is Ice Cube. He stars in Ride Along, the #1 movie in America. His next album will be Everything's Corrupt. We'll ask about that later. Comes out in May. What was it like to grow up in South Central? Everybody in Beverly Hills goes by South Central LA. They don't know South. Were you in a gang?
You know, we ran a little bit here and there. You know, I wasn't really tough into gang banging. You know, I didn't really see the value in it. And that was because of my father was there at the home. You know, I come from a 2-parent home. You know, my father was the biggest gangbanger in my house.
What did he do?
Well, when it came to setting us straight and making sure that we, you know, had our priorities straight, and we was trying to sidestep and look for better avenues to express ourselves.
What did your father do for a living?
Oh, he worked at Western Brass Works for a minute. He was a machinist over there, and they closed down. He ended up doing groundkeeping at UCLA. So
really?
Yeah. So
did you go through school?
Yeah. I went through.
Finished school?
Yeah, I went to. I ended up going to Taft in Woodland Hills out here, and after school I went to Phoenix Institute of Technology for a year, and then this rap music took off. And
how did you come to rap?
You know, I was just a fan. You know, as a youngster, you're looking for things to do, things that can keep you away from trouble. You know, it was playing sports at first, and then hip hop came in the '80s, and it just, you know, I fell in love with the music. Dr. Dre, who's you know, a big time producer. His cousin lived down the street from me, so it was just a stroke of luck that I had a chance to meet him. He liked how I rhymed, took me under his wing, and the rest is history.
What was your first hit?
My first hit was it was a hit that I wrote for somebody else. I wrote for Eazy-e, and it was called Boys in the Hood. It was the record preceded the movie, and it was our first major hit, and it really kind of solidified what we were going to do and how we was going to approach it.
Now, I've interviewed a lot of rap people. I've interviewed Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa and T.I. And what are rappers, singers, I mean, because it's not really singing. I mean, you can't hum it.
No, I can't sing, but some of them can. I think, between Wiz Khalifa and, Drake, Snoop can hold a tune. So some of these guys have talent to sing.
So how would you describe your talent? You say you can't sing. What is your talent?
My talent is rhyming and to get a message over pretty much, just with my vocals, with my voice. It's not really a harmony thing. It's more of a cadence. It's more of a feeling that you give when you rap.
What do you sing about mostly?
I rap about everything that's around me, what's going on, from politics to what's going on in the street, to me and everything in between.
Are you writing all the time?
All the time, yeah. It's all about, speaking for people who can't speak for themselves in a lot of ways too.
Do you enjoy it? I mean, is it a fun thing to do, to write? Because it seems like hard work to me to keep thinking in terms of rhyme.
It's extremely fun. I love it better than anything else I'm doing because I can be creative as I want to be. I can pretty much rap about whatever I want to rap about. When you do a movie, you just got to be part of a team. You got to be a team player. It's like building a building. You can't do it by yourself. You need a lot of skilled people to help you, bring it to life. And
are rap fans all young?
No. We just did this King of the Mic tour. It was me, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, De La Soul. We saw fans in there from 19 to probably 60, 62, 63. Yeah.
Now, when you get a rap concert, must be mind-boggling. All these rappers come out, they're all rhyming, they're all doing about different things, right? Yeah. And what's the crowd doing? You can't dance to rap, can you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah? You definitely could dance to rap. You can participate, sing along. A lot of the guys know the words. The hooks in raps are very catchy, so people are singing the hooks. And having a ball, rap concert is pretty exciting.
What was the toughest part about South Central?
How unpredictable it is growing up there. You can have days, weeks where nothing happened, and then you hear about somebody getting shot, you hear about somebody getting hurt, hearing about somebody, losing their bout with drugs. It was just, you never knew what the neighborhood was gonna serve to you.
How did you stay away from drugs and things like that?
Just by witnessing other people.
Were you tempted?
Well, you always tempted by, the pot and the drinking and this. With the hard drugs, when it comes to crack and cocaine, never tempted by that. I always saw the devastation, how it devastated people in my neighborhood and all over the country. So it was something I never even wanted to touch.
What'd your brother do?
My brother, he used to work for UPS for a while. Now he's a mail carrier.
You take care of him, but he don't need you.
He act like he needs me, you know what I mean? I don't know if I take care of him. I ain't gonna take credit for that, but he definitely gets a lot of cool gifts.
Next, when we come back, we'll talk about NWA and Ice Cube's thoughts on rap music today. Stay with us. He stars in the #1 movie in America, Ride Along. He's Ice Cube. You said the world's most dangerous group was NWA. Tell me about NWA and South. How did that whole story?
Well, NWA.
What did it stand for?
It stands for with attitudes. It was really our only weapon of protest against what we saw. What was happening to our neighborhood. Coming in the era of gangbanging and crack and police brutality and Reaganomics and, this whole mixture of things forged NWA. And the neighborhood that we come from made NWA. And then NWA influenced the neighborhood, so it was
How many people in the group?
It started off with 6, ended up with 5. And the group, really only lasted one strong album,
Really?
Yeah, they went on to do a second album, but it was never the original members, so.
Why did you leave?
It was money reasons. You know, I found out that, you know, we wasn't really getting paid what we were supposed to get paid, and nobody wanted to correct the situation with me, so I had to leave.
Let's discuss some of the people in the group. Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
What was he like?
Genius. You know, he's you know, perfectionist producer, and he knows a hit when he hears one, and he knows a good artist when he hears one, and you know, he's one of the biggest producers of rap music.
Eazy-e died, huh?
Yes.
What was he like?
Mastermind. You know, Eazy-e is the reason why we had the style that we had, the hardcore gangster rap.
He had HIV, though.
Yeah, he had HIV. He died of AIDS. You know, I believe.
How'd he get it, through blood transfusion?
Well, I believe it was just unprotected sex, you know. And, you know, but he was a very smart dude in NWA, and, you know, I wouldn't be here without Eazy-e.
DJ Yella.
DJ Yella was more of our, you know, he was more of our tech guy. He was a guy who really knew his way around the equipment and could really help us.
Do you stay in touch?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, we all so grown and we all got our own lives, but whenever we can, you know, get on the phone every now and then, we get on the phone.
And MC Ren?
MC Ren, you know, he was my age, you know, one of the best rappers in the group, very ferocious, straight out of Compton.
Now, that album was one of the most, in rap history, that was one of the most influential, right? Straight Out of Compton?
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind that album?
Well, you know, like I said, the neighborhood that we come from forged NWA and really was the reason. It was our protest music. It was a way for us to tell the world what was going on and how we were living and to try to make some kind of sense of it. You know, and sometimes we made light of it, sometimes we were super hardcore with it, but it was really, you know, it was really our only way to tell the world how we grew up.
You've done some controversial things, though, right?
Yes.
Anything you regret? Any lyrics you regret?
No lyrics I regret, because, you know, these records are time capsules. You know, these records are moments in time, and you know, the records have a feeling. You know, you can feel the era. You know, sometimes when you hear a record from the '60s, you know it's from the '60s. Hear a record from the '70s, you know it's from the '70s. So, you know, that's the way I was feeling at that time. So I wouldn't want to change anything.
So you never think of it as bad role models for kids, or could have been, couldn't it?
Well, yeah, you know, I never, you know.
Not all rap's the same.
No, not all rap's the same. You know, rap has its degree, has its measure. Some rap is totally unsuited for kids, period, you know. And some rap is exactly what kids need to hear, you know. So it's a form of entertainment like movies where you can get, you know, from a documentary to a cartoon to a horror story. You know, you can really get everything in between. Rap music has all these different shades.
You've been an enormous success. Where do you live now?
I live in Encino.
Yeah. You have a house? And
yeah, nice
family?
House. Yeah, family, wife, 4 kids, beautiful life.
When you look back to where you came from, the influence had to be that you had a strong family home, right?
Yes.
That was the difference.
That's the difference. You know, I had someone there that cared about, you know, when I came home. I had somebody out there that cared about my grades. You know, I had somebody out there that cared about my conduct. I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to bring shame to the name. So these are the reasons why I'm here today, because of a strong foundation.
What did your father think of you being a rapper?
He loved it. Anything that kept me from being a Crip, you know, he was into it. Anything that kept me from you know, running with the wrong crowd, going to jail, getting shot, it was constructive. You know, he might not agree with all lyrics I sung, but he definitely was happy that I was doing something constructive.
Are you a good father?
Yes, definitely.
Now, it's not out till May. Everything's corrupt.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means everything seems like it's fallen into corruption, you know, in all parts of our lives, and we really need to combat corruption because it's really a poison.
I'm anxious to hear it.
that can really take down a lot of good things. So corruption is everywhere. The record kind of speaks for itself.
When we come back in our final segment, Ice Cube answers your questions, and we'll play a game of If You Only Knew. We'll be right back. Our guest is the great Ice Cube. He co-stars in the #1 movie in America, Ride Along. Everything's Corrupt will be out in May. By the way, do you know Ice-T?
Yeah, I know Ice-T. We real cool.
So we get together.
Yeah.
I could be a rapper. I'll be Ice Coffee.
No problem, man. We can do a group.
I love Ice Coffee. Okay, maybe I'll do your next rap album.
No problem.
All right, we got many social media questions. Rolf, the whatever, tweets, does he like the direction that hip-hop is taking, and what are his thoughts on it being a respected genre now?
You know, hip-hop came from the streets. It's come a long way. I'm happy with anything that's happening with hip-hop, you know. It's been 30, 40 years of us trying to really let the world know what the music is all about. I think the world does know. You know, the music business is taking a hit on all levels, you know, with the internet and downloading and the loss of record stores all over the country. So, you know, it's in a tough place like all music, but as far as hip hop, it's still, you know, the best lyricists win, the best music usually floats to the top, and that's how it should be.
Esteban Rojas from Facebook, has he ever broken the law in the past? Does he have any regrets from his past that have had a negative effect on him? Anything still haunt you?
Well, you know, I've definitely broken the law before, but nothing has haunted me, nothing from my past that's followed me or anything. You know, what we did in the past, we took care of, and it's in our rearview mirror.
I stole a yo-yo from Woolworth. It still bothers me. Alagavi Ayawaki from Facebook wants to know who introduced you to the rap game.
The rap game I was introduced to by my uncle. He was taking me to the dentist one day. I chipped my tooth, and he played Rapper's Delight, which is one of the first rap songs ever produced. And it blew my mind. You know, the song is about 8, 9 minutes, and I made him play that thing about 10 times. He was so tired of me and Rapper's Delight by the time we got home, but that's what introduced me.
So it started with a chipped tooth.
Started with a chipped tooth, this one right here.
The Ramos 13 asks, how do you monitor the media your children are exposed to? How do you explain your early rap or NWA to your kids?
Well, you know, what I do is explain to them before the media get to them. You know, I'm always talking to my kids about reality. I always talk to them about what's expected of them, that they definitely can't take what they see off TV and try to emulate it, that it's only music, it's entertainment. And they've turned out real good kids, so hopefully they've listened. I got one 27, 22, 19, and 13.
You don't look 27.
Yep.
How old are you?
44.
And finally, Jess White from Facebook wants to know what you like better, making music or making movies?
Music, without a doubt. You know, it's the freedom. I can go in with my producer and just do as many records as I want, how I want to do it. With a movie, you need over 100 people to really pull it off, you know, from promotion to marketing to, you know, editing. And so, you know, it's just a different animal.
But down to it, you like music?
Music, yeah.
Okay, we play a game called If You Only Knew. You remember the first girl you kissed?
Yes, I remember the first girl I kissed.
What was her name?
Her name was, oh my God, Iris.
Iris.
Yeah.
Where was it? In school?
It was in school. Her name was Iris Davis. Yep, in school.
How old were you?
I was in the 4th grade, 4th, 5th grade. It was the first real kiss.
Oh,
yeah.
You ever find out what happened to Iris?
She moved to Paris, California when I went to the 6th grade, and I never seen her again.
She made a mistake. She should have hung on to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Favorite food?
My favorite food has got to be steak.
Biggest regret?
Biggest regret, biggest regret. I don't have a lot. I guess not being able to work with Dr. Dre more. That's my biggest regret.
Favorite travel destination?
Maui.
If you hadn't become a rapper, what would you have been?
I'd probably be, you know, somewhere around the music, you know, Might be doing what you're doing, Larry, sitting down, reporting on the music.
You'd have been good. Style of music people would be surprised that you enjoy.
Classical.
You like classical music?
You know, a little bit of it here and
Beethoven?
there. Yes, you know, very good.
You like Sinatra?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Who doesn't like Frank?
Yeah, I know, Frank. You gotta love Frank.
Hey, if you were stuck on a desert island, what are the 3 items you want to have with you?
A plane.
Best answer so far.
A plane, my wife, and, you know, I guess a lot of gas, a lot of fuel.
Biggest splurge?
Biggest splurge, cars. Yeah.
You have many?
I have too many.
How many cars do you have?
I got about 6 to 7.
What's your favorite?
I mean, I just bought this Corvette Stingray, that new one. Oh my God, it's the best.
Have you tried the Tesla?
Haven't tried. My son, he tried it for a minute.
It's a wild car.
Yeah.
You are the best, man.
Oh, thank you. You the best. Been waiting to do this.
Thanks to my guest, Ice Cube. And remember, you can find me on Twitter @KingsThings.